Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac, along with Trent Haston. We are your hosts. Trent just had Rob and Marika.
Yep.
From Mecca.
From Mecca.
And
Mecca all things.
Mecca all things. Yeah, he got me there in the first segment, or second segment. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and say it. Mecca Properties. No,
if
that's
you've
the
missed
former Mecca.
The last three segments, hit the podcast. This is really educational. Trent, you know a lot about the West Side.
And talk up the podcast, please, because we're trying. I tell everybody all the time, they're like, man, I heard you half a show one time, caught you walking around meeting people, trick-or-treating with the kids on Halloween. A couple people heard me say something, and they said, I heard you one time on WBT, or I think they hear the advertisement. And I said, well, have you checked our podcast out? You can go listen to all our shows. We had Kenny Smith on last Sunday, Charlotte City Councilman, and maybe be running for mayor. And so it's great. So talking up the podcast, I do want to say a story. I was with one of our laborers, Stephen Humphrey. He's been with us probably about 4 or 5 years. Great guy. He actually lives in Belmont. And the joke about Steve says this joke, so I'm gonna say it. He said that he was the only black guy in Belmont for several years, and he loves Belmont. And now he says that there's a lot of black people and a lot of diversity in Belmont, and he says he blazed the trail for that. And he loves Belmont, and frankly, he said he leaves his bike on his front porch and his grill on his front porch, and for 3 years has never worried about it or got in touch. But he told me he loved my dad, and we were knocking around. He helped me do some things this past Saturday, and he said he was talking about our buildings and activity on the West Corridor and just excited. And it was great to see my friend and employee and associate excited from his angle. And I was pegging him with general questions. I said, what do you mean? And he said, your dad told me. He said, stay here long enough and you'll see great things happening. And he said, that's what I see happening. He said, I'm excited, it's fun, and see part of it. And what he was talking about was, number one, he was talking about the people in our company and our brand, I think. But also, and mainly what I took from it, he was really talking about the real estate and where our office is located, and he asked if we were going to move up and down the corridor. So, Stephen Humphreys, thank you for being a great associate at Roby and what you do. And also, thank you for being a friend, and I enjoy spending time with you, so thank you.
Yeah, I mean, anybody knows Steve. Steve always has a great attitude, just a fantastic guy to know. And it's really cool to watch. I mean, if you haven't driven all the way down the Wilkinson Boulevard corridor, do yourself a favor. That's a good Sunday drive. Go take a look at all the things that are happening. I mean, it's not necessarily just close to the city. It's all the way out, Trent. I mean, all the way out to where you, really. I mean, I know you're towards Belmont. It's where you call your home.
Yeah, I live. If you to go to my house, you go all the way out right before you cross the river. The last left you can take is Old Dowd Road, which is a main vein of Charlotte because it goes around the airport, and it's a critical road. A lot of people know of Old Dowd Road, but it's the last left you take before you cross the river, and then right when you cross the river, you're in Belmont. About 3 minutes, you can be in downtown Belmont, which is
talk a little bit about that, Trent, because I think a lot of people haven't been out there in
it's
ages.
just wonderful. It's regentrified. It's I would say Belmont was dry up until about 10 or 12 years ago, and then that helped economic activity and helped a lot of restaurants and bars come in and regentrify the cool architecture and construction in the downtown area, and now it's built its base and its foundation, and man, it is moving and shaking every evening of the week and on Saturdays, and then they have concerts. Go check out. I'm sure Belmont has a website of what's going on, and they have weekly concerts during different times of the year. They have a wonderful park downtown. It's just great, and we're big advocates of Belmont, and the Presley family in Mecca is a big advocate of Belmont as well. But, yeah, I mean, the whole corridor is doing good, and I think that the city has the utmost priority when people come in and out of Charlotte to put our best foot forward and capitalize on the asset that we have.
No, I agree, Trent. I mean, I completely agree with you. And I mean, good for people like yourself and the Presleys for having the vision to take on these projects and to really put the money and their backing in this corridor because it's so important. It's the first taste of Charlotte anybody gets.
I mean, it's just philosophy. I mean, like-minded people stick together. That's where you find comfort. I mean, I look over here, and Travis Thomas is in the back recording, works with Roby Realty. And Roby Realty, our broker in charge, and our partner is Sandy Thomas. And she's grew up, I just realized, on Old Dowd Road. We tell this story all the time. Wow. And also down into the Still Creek area. So it's that pie. And that's the ally I want. That's the partner I want in my business. That's the person I want. Their history. It's all about history and tradition, and that's what emulates, I think, good people, good success. I mean, we were talking during the break with Marika and Robin. I said, she's talking about me telling stories. I said, I tell stories. I said, I've told her story about coming from Miami 10 times since I met her to other people. And she said, oh, and I said, well, I want to talk about you. I want to talk about your company. I want to talk about the west side of Charlotte. I tell stuff I like, and hopefully that'll help be a generator, an incubator for good vibes and success. Success breeds success.
Well, she's great. I mean, you told me that story earlier in the week, and when I met Marika for the first time, I felt like I already knew her because you were so excited to tell her story. Okay, Trent, Panthers won last Sunday. Do we say anything, or do we just let it go?
Well, on Halloween, I was over at my good buddy Bo Byram's house, and I asked him. He's a football connoisseur in his mind, and I asked him. I asked him if that was a turning point. He said they will not lose another game, and I said, "Come on, really?" And he said they will not lose another game. So with that, we're gonna sign off and go Kitty Cats.
Go Panthers! Give me the growl.
Wow, wow, wow! And you will be joining us next Sunday, 9 to 10, with At Home at Roby. Trent Haston.
Patrick McIsaac. See you next Sunday.